In today's biased news, Ukraine gets carved up for profit, turmoil in apartheid Israel, and climate change continues to wreak havoc. A widely known strategy of neoliberalism is the selling off of state assets. And in a relatively quiet move, the Ukrainian government has initiated the auctioning off of their state assets at ridiculous near-1990s post-Soviet Russia prices, selling off things as diverse as agricultural equipment manufacturers and research centers for as little as $7,000 as lowball bids come in. The Ukrainian government has even set up a website titled privatization.gov.ua, with a handy How to Buy State Assets guide. $400 billion in investment options have been opened via the official government project titled Advantage Ukraine, with a dedicated website for further investment opportunities for the exploitation of Ukrainian raw material, unmaintained Soviet-era industry, and dirt-cheap labor. Commenting in a press release, Zelensky said, "A USAID-supported project team of investment bankers and researchers appointed by Ukraine's Ministry of Economy will work with businesses interested in investing with Advantage Ukraine." This tracks closely with the Ukraine Recovery Conference held in July, which mapped out the repealing of labor laws, the development of open markets, the dropping of tariffs, deregulation of industries, and selling state-owned enterprises to private investors. Despite the enthusiasm of the conference, these acts have proven to be highly unpopular with regular Ukrainians, with nearly 50% of those polled opposing privatization, and only 12.4% in support of it. Labor laws under assault include the provision of benefits, adjustment periods before the firing of a worker, and union membership. This brutal neoliberal project will already render an incredibly poor Ukraine even poorer, as so-called enrichment opportunities arise from the rubble of the Ukrainian state. The most profitable aspects of Ukrainian industry in metals, agriculture, oil, and other resources will be bought up for the benefit of Western capital. Meanwhile, regular Ukrainians will bear the brunt of paying off the massive debts they've been saddled with for those generously delivered Western weapons. Continuing with the Ukraine war, the US will send Black Hornet nanodrones to Ukraine as part of a $400 million weapons package, according to the Pentagon. On the other side, the Russian Defense Ministry has said a ship from its Black Sea fleet destroyed 2 unmanned Ukrainian naval drones that attempted to attack it overnight. It's expected for Russia to fire on any vessels which attempt to pass through its section of the Black Sea, as a result of the rejection of the grain deal. Turkish President Erdogan has expressed concern about Israeli settler violence against Palestinians in a meeting with his Palestinian counterpart. Violence has rocked the occupied West Bank in recent months as Israeli forces ramp up their raids. There is also unrest within the settler project, as riots centered around their supposed democracy escalate. RollsRoyce has raised its full-year operating profit forecast by approximately 45% due to operational improvements, increased military spending, and a recovery in long-haul flying. The company's first-half performance exceeded expectations, leading to a surge in its stock price. The improved performance is attributed to the faster-than-expected recovery in aviation, which has boosted demand for aftermarket services. Increased military spending and the vague, improved operations have also played a role. This, of course, is a pattern we can expect anytime there's a conflict. After all, it's very lucrative to be in the murder tools industry. Moving on to the deadly consequences of global warming, at least 34 people have died in Algeria due to the recent heatwave. In Greece, firefighters are battling blazes in several parts of the country, as the third heatwave this summer pushes temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius. On the island of Evia, 2 pilots of a firefighting plane were killed when their plane crashed. And on the island of Sicily, 2 people were found dead on Tuesday in a home burned by a wildfire that also temporarily shut down Palermo's international airport. This is a continuation of humanity's accelerating descent into climate chaos. Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang, who was once seen as a close ally of President Xi Jinping, has been unexpectedly removed from his post after only 7 months in the position. His replacement is Wang Yi, his predecessor, who held the role for almost a decade from 2013 onward. The reasons behind Qin's removal have not been disclosed, and his recent absence from public appearances had sparked widespread speculation, with officials citing health reasons without further elaboration. Qin's rapid rise in the Communist Party was notable, becoming one of the youngest officials to be named foreign minister at the age of 57. Wang Yi, who now assumes the foreign minister role, is an experienced diplomat and a familiar face in China's foreign policy decision-making. His appointment is seen as potentially temporary until a new foreign minister is named. And to finish with a tiny bit of positive news, with a year to go until the Olympics, Paris is in the final phase of an historic cleanup which will soon see swimmers and divers back in the Seine. Banned for a century because of the filthy water, city swimming is set to be one of the major legacies of the Games, thanks to a $1.6 billion regeneration project universally hailed as a success. Now, if only we could do that without needing the Olympics to come to town. That's all for today. We'll be back day after tomorrow with more news. If you missed them, be sure to check out our previous episodes by following the links on your screen. As always, you can support the show and get the news in text form a few hours early by becoming a patron at patreon.com/firstthought.